Hello, owls and ravens. Welcome to the gentle flow of madness, and thank you for tuning into Thought Space, my soft-spoken vlog where you guys get to listen to me compare random animes from our childhood in ways they probably weren't intended to be compared in. Now, recently, I just saw the 2020 Digimon reboot, and honestly, I enjoyed the first episode. I haven't watched any more episode after that. I just stopped there. I'm about to go back and watch episode 2, 3, 4. It's a lot different from the original Digimon, but as I was watching it, yes, you just heard me stutter. Just completely ignore it, even though I'm bringing attention to it. Anyways, as I was, watching this, I thought, wow, this is drastically different from what the original Digimon. So I went back and watched the original, and this is where the thought process really starts kicking in. Digimon was compared to Pokemon a lot, despite the fact that Digimon feels very much different from Pokemon. Like, genuinely, extremely different from Pokemon. So, what do I mean by that? The fact of the matter is the commonality between Digimon and Pokemon starts with an adventure where a group of friends are together alongside with monsters. Yeah, at that point they sound very much similar. You would not be able to tell which is which. But at the same time, if you think about it, there are other animes where people contract with demons, fairies, and like partners and allies. Technically, if you go to Zatch Bell, that's the same thing. And with how Zatch Bell works, Zatch Bell is actually a better comparison with Pokemon than something like Digimon. Like, Zatch Bell has more in common with Pokemon than Digimon has with Pokemon. That's crazy. Uniacha probably has more in common with Digimon than Pokemon has with Digimon. Again, really insane. Now, some of you are probably going to jump into the comment and go, well, actually, and this whole thing is wrong. Well, it might be wrong. It probably is. I'm not a professional. I didn't do some deep diving. I didn't break apart each individual episode of Digimon and each individual episode of Pokemon to kind of get the correct laydown. This is not a video essay of any sort doing the complex history of Pokemon and Digimons and the comparison, compare, construct kind of method. It's not that, guys. It's just a goblin sharing his opinion with all of you guys because of the simple fact that I want to. It's chill, it's vibing. It's not intense, it's not this big thing I'm trying to prove. It's just my thought process and the things flowing around my chaotic little brain. So back into it, I feel like Zatch Bell definitely had more in common with Pokemon than Digimon did. Zatch Bell was this entire thing of fighting different opponents with your particular, I don't remember what they're called. I think there were types of demons, if I remember correctly. So Zatch Bell was fighting a number of different opponents with your demons, training them up, creating a closer bond so they become more powerful, so that you can fight more intensely, so that one day your demon can become essentially the Demon King. Pokemon is about training monsters and training them to be stronger, making them learn new moves so that one day that you can be the Pokemon master or the Pokemon champion of that region. So very much closer to that. Now with Digimon, it's very different. Digimon was about creating a digital bond with your monsters so that they could explore the world and somehow find a way back home. Now that sounds more like a number of different isekais, fantasy novels. And honestly, Digimon was more of a fantasy kind of thing. Most of it was fighting evil, purifying the digital world, fighting viruses, fighting the bad guys, and cleaning everything up. There was no gym leader, no main goal, no trying to become the master. They didn't do it because it was simply fun. They did it because it was right. This wasn't an adventure that they chose for themselves. Not only that, these partners that they choose were very much partners. It was a singular bond. And now, going into that, and I know I just kind of sped through that and didn't really go into too much detail, but once again, this is not an in-depth kind of thing. This is just my mind kind of going through a bunch of different things that are on it, just like doo-doo, 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 So where was I? Oh yeah. So another thing about like this whole Digimon Pokemon kind of comparison, I relate Digimon closer to Power Rangers than I do Pokemon. Especially when it comes to evolving and digivolving. Like the whole thing versus that. Pokemon's evolving are Pokemon's evolving to become stronger in a permanent way. It's a developmental thing. While Digimon evolving is a back and forth thing. A Digimon can evolve forward and evolve back. In fact, the only time they have like a permanent kind of change is from their baby form to their toddler form to their like kind of teenage form. That's the only real permanent change that they have. Any farther digivolvization is more of a temporary power up, suiting up so in this gigantic transformation scene so they can fight the big bad of that time. Sound familiar? Like, Power Rangers? Yeah, because it's closer to Power Rangers than it is to Pokemon. Now, another thing that makes it very much different from Pokemon when it comes to Digimon is the fact that, well, Pokemon, you can collect multiple monsters. Digimon, you are helping every monster you came across. And yes, while Pokemon, you did help some monsters that came along, the main focus was kind of studying them, kind of like an animal or an endangered species. The monsters you help in Digimon were more like civilians. You were helping civilians in another world. And that's another thing that kind of differentiates the two. Now, when I think of Pokemon and Digimon, other than the fact that they have monster partners, I couldn't really think of many other similarities. Maybe evolution and the fact that there is the elemental chart. But the evolution is definitely a lot different between Pokemon and Digimon, especially since Digimon was more of this magical girl, Power Ranger kind of thing. As to power up and become stronger, it was very much, this is Digimon's going Super Saiyan 3 kind of thing. And for Pokemon, it was just a way of life. It was a natural progression of power for them, and that's still cool, but it's very much different from each other, Other than that, I think the whole and then like with the whole elemental chart, right, with like the rock paper scissors element, this element beats that element beats that. That's the popularity, not just with Digimon or Pokemon, is also in Final Fantasy and a number of different fantasy magic shows. So it's not really a commonality that they simply share with one another. It's a commonality found with enough different genre that it's just a trope that is mostly generalized and doesn't specially link the two. So yeah, if you can think of more commonalities of Pokemon and Digimon, go ahead and put them down in the comment. If you can think of shows that Digimon relates to way more than Pokemon, put that down in the comment. If you can think of shows that Pokemon relates to way more than Digimon, put that in the comment. Or if you think Pokemon and Digimon relate pretty closely and you have some examples of why, you can put that in the comment too. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe. If you didn't, tell me. I don't mind. Leave feedback. Whatever you feel like doing. This is a chill space. You can do what you want. Just relax, vibe, however you choose to vibe, you know? Anyways, that's all I have to say today. And remember, everyone, vibe with the chaos.